Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Donna Lynn Hilton, producer for Goodspeed Musicals, and thank you for joining me in my home office. We're delighted to have you with us. As you know, both of our theaters are dark due to the pandemic, and most of our staff is furloughed in response to the pandemic. And I just want to offer a heartfelt thanks to those of you who are members and subscribers who have contributed their ticket refunds or have contributed to our Footlights Fund. Without you, we literally would not be able to really keep the doors ready to open in 2021. We're really, really grateful for your support. We have been able, because of your support, to keep much of our furloughed staff on health insurance. And I think that's just, as I know you agree, so important. And we really, really are grateful for your support. So thank you. If you have comments or questions for my guests tonight, who are both fabulous people that I'm really happy to be able to introduce you to, please enter them into the chat along the right side of your screen, or you can text them to the number that's crawling across right now. So please do weigh into the conversation today. We want to hear from you, and we want to hear your questions and comments. So let's get to it. My guests tonight are Devanand. Dev, you're going to correct me. Janki. Oh my God, he is an award-winning director, choreographer. His credits include Off-Broadway, Xanadu, Junie B. Jones, Henry and Mudge. He's directed multiple All-Star Broadway concerts for the Actors Fund at Lincoln Center. Dev has worked on Amal and the Night Visitors. I have worked on Amal and the Night Visitors too, Dev, so that's something we have to talk about. Babes in Toyland, anything goes in concert. Regionally, Dev's worked at the George Street Playhouse, Hangar Theater, and Chicago Shakes. He's the director of musical theater at the division of the Stella. He's the director of the musical theater division. What happened to me tonight? At the Stella Adler Studio of Acting, and the artistic director and founder of Live and in Color, which is why he's here tonight and what he's going to tell us. Please welcome Dev Janki. Thank you, Dev.
Hi, Donna. So happy to be here.
Oh my God, say your first name. I don't know why.
Devanand.
Devanand. It's not that hard. Devanand.
Dev is
right
fine.
There in front of me. Devanand. It's right there in front of me. Okay, and joining Dev tonight is Laiona Michelle. Laiona is as an actress, made her Broadway debut as Nana in Amazing Grace, which premiered at Our Terrace Theater, and many of you will recognize her. She appeared in the first national tour of Book of Mormon, but as a writer, which is why she's here with us tonight, her musical Little Girl Blue, the Nina Simone Musical, made its world premiere at the George Street Playhouse last year. She has been, maybe I can't talk about that. We'll find out if we can talk about that. She has a really cool commission that she's working on right now, and we'll figure out if we can talk about that later. Please welcome Dev and Laiona.
Hi, hello,
everybody. Thank you for being here. You didn't have hair the last time our audience saw you, Laiona.
That is true. That is very true.
When I first met her, she didn't have hair either.
She rocks both looks. You look fabulous both ways.
Yeah. I never get married to one look.
Good. I like that. I got mine cut 2 days ago, so not quite as short as
beautiful.
You had it, thank you. All right. So first of all, how are you? Where are you? How have you been managing this pandemic? Ladies first, Laiona.
Oh boy. Every day. I just have to pause every day and count my blessings, really. There's a lot happening in the world, but there's so much to be grateful for. I'm blessed to be a mom these days. I adopted my sister's little boy, and he's just turned 6 years old. Oh. So it's something about having a child in your life that just the cloud just lifts whenever you feel that, those rainy days coming. And he brings me so much sunshine. There's a responsibility to that, especially with everything that's going on with Black Lives Matter and watching the news. Feeling very protective of him, not with just coronavirus, but just the world in general. Raising a little boy in this world, feeling very protective and responsible about my words, my action, and it makes it even more important for me to continue to do what I've been doing, which is being an artist and creating, writing.
Well, we appreciate you joining us tonight because the story of Nina Simone is a really, really important one. And quite frankly, one I wasn't fully aware of. I'm still not fully aware of, but I wasn't really at all aware of until I first started reading about your piece last year. And we're going to get into that. Okay, Deb, how are you? Where are you? How have you been managing?
I'm doing really good. I mean, I'm in New York City. I have not left New York. From the time this whole thing started. And strangely, we're now the safest place to be in this country. So I'm grateful.
Sometimes when you do the right thing, it pays off. America, I hope you're listening.
So yeah, I'm same thing, just trying to keep positive. You know, at the beginning of it, it was very hard, just all of us in the world, but specifically in our business, it was just, you know, just really trying to figure things out and the uncertainty of everything. But I feel as the months have progressed, you know, us artists are so resilient. And, you know, I've been so moved and inspired by our community and how we've sort of rallied to create and keep moving forward and figure things out. And sort of, I feel like we're sort of in this very sort of rich place right now of like, okay, how do we make this work? How do we keep it going? How do we innovate and navigate this whole new medium? I mean, I know Goodspeed's been doing the same thing as Live and in Color, just creating all this content, which has been a huge learning curve, but really exciting.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's inspiring and reassuring and self-care for me to hear both of you say what you just said, because it is hard. This is really, really hard. And I reflect on the first 6 to 8 weeks of this. It felt, okay, I had my blinders on. I knew I just had to get through this. I would sit down at my desk at 8:15 every day and I'd work till 4, and Jay and I would take the dogs for a walk and we'd come back and have a cocktail and watch an episode of something. And, it was all, okay, we can do this. And as this proceeds, it gets harder and harder and harder. So the value of connecting with artists like you two in this way, even in this way, I'm just reminded of how incredibly important it is. And I'm really grateful to our audience members who recognize that and tune in for these conversations. So, all right. So Live and in Color. Deb, we met a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6. It's been a while now.
6 years now,
I'd heard your name. I'd seen your resume, but we'd never really connected. But you were launching a new program right in my backyard.
Right in the backyard, right?
Like you're a mile away from
minutes down the road.
So tell us about Live and in Color. What is it?
Great. So Live and in Color, we are a developmental theater company. We are based both in New York and Connecticut. We take residence in the fall in Salem, Connecticut, which is right down the road from Goodspeed. Our mission is to develop and promote new plays and musicals that celebrate diversity. And very similar to the work you all do at the Norma Terrace and the work that Eugene O'Neill does, we are trying to lift up new writers and give them a platform and give them a pipeline for future productions. It's been a really thrilling, exciting journey.
How many years is it now?
6 years. We're going to our 6th season. And no, it's been a really thrilling journey just trying to bring this amazing work to the community, and they've embraced us with open arms from the beginning. You have been so wonderful about giving me advice and sending.
I didn't have to go to New York to see a reading. I could drive to Salem. It's incredible, and sit in the woods with the breeze blowing. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, this part of New England is just so beautiful, and especially in the summer and fall when we are up there, and for us to bring artists to the Bingham camp where we take residence is just such a joyous and inspiring and safe space for artists to create. And we basically spend 2 to 3 weeks sort of secluded in this beautiful setting. And we work really, really hard on workshopping in these brand new musicals and putting them on their feet and giving them life for the very first time. And along with that, the community just has been so extraordinary for us. I mean, we bring New York artists up here, but then we have local musicians, and part of it is feeding all our actors. And we have like a local organic farm donating vegetables, and the local vineyard giving wine.
Let's give them a shout out. Which organic farm?
Provider Farm in
Provider
Salem.
Farm. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I tried.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Provider
amazing,
Farm
right?
in Salem, Connecticut.
And
People
Sunset
check.
Hill Vineyard in Lyme has been one of our hugest supporters since the beginning.
Excellent.
I believe they're open now for tastings on the weekend. So
I think they are too. I drive by there.
Really good wine, you know. So it's been really just a love fest, and I'm super proud of the work we've done. You know, we've had so many wonderful writers and so many shows come through there, and
so let's take a pause there. You brought your promo video for us to share. So let's share the promo video, and then I want to talk about the projects you've been developing. Thanks, Michael. Impressive. Who created that for you?
Oh, our director of new works, Dennis Corsi, who's incredible, and he's been sort of such a key to this whole thing. You know, I've been a freelance director and choreographer for so many years on the artistic end of things, and this idea to create this company has sort of been mulling around in my mind for many, many, many years. And at the beginning of this whole process, I did not know what I was doing, and I happened to mention to Dennis, who had been my student at the time and had just moved to New York, I have this idea, I don't know what to do. And he said, I'll write your business plan. And in 5 months, we'd raised 50 grand and had our first season. Wow. So I credit him a lot for helping me, you know, get this thing off the ground.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love the fearlessness of it. You know, I remember when we first met and I thought, oh, to be, you know, at that place, to start fresh, you know, to build whatever you wanted to build was just really exciting. So I'm really, really thrilled by what you've been able to create, because I think I was at the very first reading.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
So let's talk about the shows that you've developed. Tell us,
well,
head toward you, Laiona. Tell us about the shows you've developed.
Well, the first one we called Church, but where Laiona and I had the good fortune of meeting was the second year when we worked on Masi Asari's The Family Resemblance, which was the second show we developed. And funny enough, another actress was supposed to be playing the role that Laiona was playing, and she got a Broadway show at the time. And she goes, well, I have this amazing friend, Laiona. And I was like, who is this Laiona? And of course, she showed up. And as we all do, immediately were entranced and fell in love with her. And I sort of became obsessed with her beautiful spirit and her talent. And it was, you know, one of those moments that I feel like was life-changing for me.
Right. So Laiona,
me as well. Me as well.
So I knew you as an actress. You created that magnificent role in Amazing Grace, really just beautiful. Even at the early stage that Goodspeed was in the development, so nuanced and heartfelt and just complete. And I think really helped support the thesis that people of color have not been treated right in this country, and that needed to be addressed. And so I've just always respected you so much for the way that you created that really difficult role. But I didn't know you were a writer until I started hearing through Dev about Little Girl Blue. So how did you come to writing?
Well, so funny that you
over wine. Cheers.
Over wine.
It's so funny that you asked that question, because during the early the beginnings of Amazing Grace, when we were there working with Christopher Smith, who was a new emerging writer himself at the time, I was just so inspired by the fact that this policeman ended up coming into our industry and shaking it up, and was brave enough to shop his own script around. And not only did he do that, but it made it tracked all the way to Broadway. And to me, that was just so amazing. And I was also very grateful that I was in a space where people were so generous, and Christopher Smith being one of them. I playing the role of Ayotunde Nana, a mother from Sierra Leone, and him trusting me as an
apologize because I should have reminded myself of what her name was.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I know, but I want to acknowledge that though.
We were in the phases of discovering at the time. And I think she was just Nana, and we were at.
I think she was too.
There, yeah. But he was just so very kind in his approach when we were working together, and knowing that he was stepping into the lane of, my history, and left room and space in the room for me to not only create, but to give in a way that a lot of writers and directors and creators, can sometimes block you out. But that didn't happen there. And I just got a little taste of that in that moment. And at that moment, I knew that I needed to start working in that way, in a deeper way. And what I mean by that is creating. So from there, I just started writing plays, little plays here, little plays there, collecting my notes. And he just really was just a huge inspiration. But it really was when I met Dev that I started shopping these ideas that were scrambling around in my brain and on my computer, and just testing it out in conversation. Right. And he was just really, just willing to listen. We had connected. So, I've been grateful in that way to meet people who.
So did you land on the Nina Simone story together, or
No, I had the
So we were having wine at the kitchen in Salem, and during rehearsal, she happened to say, "I have this idea for a Nina Simone musical." And Mark Pfeiffer, who is our MD, we were both like, "Oh my God, that's an amazing idea. Let's do it." And basically, what happened was I said, "Do you want to do it as a benefit performance in 2 months in Chester, Connecticut?" And,
sure.
And he was like, "Oh, okay." And that's like, "Okay, write it." And she sat down, and Laiona is the hardest.
Well, it was conceived years before, but it wasn't finished.
Yeah.
It was Nina's a lot, so it was a whole lot of Nina and
so
a whole lot of Laiona.
Yeah. So for those audience members who may not know much about Nina Simone, because as we all know, Black history is not taught in this country as it should be, and even artistic history, I'm sad to say. So for those of our audience members who may not know Nina Simone, tell us about her, please.
Well, I'll say, first of all, I think people know her from hearing her.
But they don't know her.
They don't know her, but I think most people know her music, but don't know who she is.
I think you're exactly right, because her recording of Feeling Good is the one I knew until I did a production of Roaring the Grease Paint, and I did not know who she was. So please,
Laiona, go.
She's known as a jazz American icon. She was very political, very outspoken, and she was one of the few who put her neck on the line for the movement. Sadly, she suffered for it, and it all kind of like unraveled. She battled being bipolar, and at the time, no one knew what that was. She was labeled an angry Black woman of her time, and I think a lot of women who do speak out and shake things up, or are even brave enough to stand on the front line, are sometimes tagged that. So when I went in, I knew I wanted to write something about Nina Simone, because I wanted to quiet those voices. And I felt like, she needs to have her place in history of that she deserves,
Yeah, I've been, I found a couple of pieces that I was completely unaware of. The pardon my language, Mississippi Goddamn.
Yes.
Oh my God. But so, okay, to our audience, if you have never heard the song, Google Nina Simone, Mississippi, goddamn, pardon my language again.
Yeah.
My grandmother's rolling over in her grave. I won't say it again. But you must hear this song. And what's that it still needs to be sung.
Well, that's what's interesting in the whole show and creating it. I think it became more and more apparent to all of us involved in it how important the story was, and how scarily resonant it
and relevant
still is, and as Laiona keeps saying, so needed right now. I'll also say just one of the things that is key to Nina Simone and indeed Little Girl Blue is the fact that she was a classical pianist.
Yes.
And she had an incredible love of Bach. And that was something that most people didn't know or didn't acknowledge her for. And I feel a lot of the show is about her yearning to be acknowledged for that.
Yes.
And we go a lot of, in the show, there's a lot of the stories about that and her connection.
The evolution of child prodigy to high priestess of soul.
Yeah.
Right. It's an amazing story. It's just an amazing story. So we have a little clip of you from rehearsal at George. The show made its world premiere last February, right? At George Street.
Yeah.
Right. Just a lifetime ago. Oh my God. Who were we then? But so we have a little piece of rehearsal footage from there. So Michael, if you're ready, we'll take a look.
And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Oh, stars in the shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm feeling
My God.
Right? It's incredible.
No better than I know Nina Simone. So preparing for this, I was doing a lot of looking, and you do, and I've seen a couple of other clips that we won't share tonight, but that we'll redirect people to. You do an incredible job of channeling her.
I have to say,
I've had a credible director here.
Good job.
well, I Laiona's performance was like one of these tour de force performances that people who are lucky enough to see it, know how thrilling it was. And, I really credit the Connecticut community for hosting us that very first crazy concert where we just basically threw the thing. We were at Leif Nielsen's gallery in Chester, and we had this outdoor concert that we threw together so fast. And Laiona just blew it out of the park. And those people, I don't think, knew what hit them.
The word made it to Goodspeed, let me assure you. Do you know what's happening in the backyard at Leif?
So it's been very, very exciting, and I find Laiona to be such an inspiration. Yeah. So
on the keys you saw on there was Mark Pfeiffer, who did all the arrangements. Lord have mercy, he just did a beautiful job with taking the collection of music, and just there's so much love and heart around this project. It's a love jam session every night, and it's so electric and perfect person to have, in your back pocket and on stage with you. And I met Mark Pfeiffer through Dev as well from his company.
That's great.
So
are you able to share anything about what might be coming next, or is it a little premature for that?
We could talk a little bit about it. We've been, sitting around, during COVID times, having these kind of having these meetings, and still developing our wish board of what we would like things to happen. And of course, we want Broadway to open up and get things up and moving and going. And we want folks to feel confident about coming to the theater again. especially for a show like this that is so necessary. We are a small package show, so we do have that on our side.
Right.
And we are of the times right now, so we do have that on our side.
You sure do. You sure do.
And yeah, did you want to say anything about that?
Well, I mean,
eyeballing off Broadway.
Yeah, I mean that, there has,
Broadway.
I have to say, in my career in this business, developing new shows, it's been really excitement at the interest in the show and the love and the support we've received. So there will be a big life for Little Girl Blue. I know it just in my heart. We just don't know when, because like with all of us, we just, we're ready to go whenever that door opens.
I don't know if it's going to be safe to have our. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we have our whole team together, so that is a blessing when you know the wheels are running and everything works.
From what I know, you're a great opportunity. You're a great opportunity.
We're eyeballing the spring next year.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah,
they have a big mega musical that needs 6 months of development. Take this one. Girl Blue in the meantime. Yeah, I just think it's so exciting, and I want to dig in and hear more and see more. Oh, she got a call. We learned earlier that's what happens when Laiona gets a call. She'll be back in a minute. I think she will.
Yeah.
All right.
She'll be back.
Do you have anything else that you're developing that we need to know about?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have picked we pick a new musical every year, and this year we've picked this musical Within Elsewhere by Joshua Bentecourt and Trent Jeffords. And usually we would be doing the workshop up in Salem in September, but because of everything, we've had to push it later. So that's really exciting. It's a beautiful new musical. But in the meantime, like you're doing, we're trying to create all this online content. And I also host a weekly talk show Wednesday evenings. I have a happy hour called Be Our Guests at
how do we find that? Tell our audience how to find that, because the people who are listening tonight are our most devoted New Works fans. So how do they find that?
Go to theaterincolor.org, our website, and you can find out all about us there and on all our social media platforms. So that's been thrilling. And we have a bunch of new exciting online program about to come out that we can't announce yet, but I'll be bugging you about it when I do.
Okay, yeah, let me know when you're ready to announce. We'll put it on our social media and share it, because we're all just hungry to.
I know, totally right.
Like
and this is the time that we all need to sort of band together and lift each other up. So I thank you for inviting us on, because
I'm so glad that we could do so. I'm honored to have you, really, and to connect with your work and with your artists. Is Laiona not going to be able to come back to us?
I don't know. She.
Oh wait, things are moving. Things are moving. There, she's coming back. All right.
Michelle, hello.
Oh, we can hear you. We can't see you.
We can hear you.
I will share with our audience, and maybe Michael Fling, you can drop this into the feed. There is a great promo. Well, it's 5 minutes long, so it's more than a promo, but there's a great piece on the show that was created by New Jersey Public Television when you were in Brunswick for the production at George Street, that is available still on YouTube. And Michael Fling, I think, is going to drop it into the chat. And if you can't copy and paste that to something you want to look at, you can just Google Little Girl Blue, George Street, and that's the first thing that comes up. So, and it's a great slice of the show. You all talking about the show and some video from the show. It's a great introduction as well. So
yeah.
All right. I promised I wouldn't keep you all night, and maybe you have dinner on the stove. Laiona, can you hear us?
I can hear you. It says that everyone can see me.
We can't see you, but we can hear you.
We can hear you.
I don't know what happened. Blackout.
Blackout. I think it's actually appropriate, Laiona.
It's so
it's appropriate. I think Nina Simone is looking down on us saying, yes. So to our audience, if you don't know Nina Simone, first of all, look her up, educate yourselves. She is an important piece of American history and theater history and music history, and you need to know her. And her history needs to be acknowledged. So I'm just really grateful to Dev and Laiona for sharing this story with us tonight and for making sure that this story gets told, because she's an important lady in our history and we need to acknowledge that. So to our audience, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, thank you for everything you've done for Goodspeed during this really difficult time. In the home office, we'll be on hiatus next week, but we'll be back on July, I think it's 30th, whatever Thursday, 2 weeks from now is. Time means nothing. With another wonderful new musical, new team that we want to introduce you to. And we're just really grateful to all of you for being with us tonight. Dev and Laiona, thank you. Laiona, I'm throwing you kisses if you can see me. Thank you. We'll stay in touch because I am interested in the show. We'll stay in touch, okay?
Yes, we will be bugging you. Stay safe.
Right.
Bye.
Stay safe, everybody. Thanks for joining us.